Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Back in April, since I was going to be going down to Washington anyway to see the inquisition of Kelly Oberg, the CEO of Boeing, with Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell. On April 1st, I went to the Pentagon because I sent Peter Hegseth, and I'm sorry this is backwards, but I sent Peter Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, a booklet concerning my concerns as a citizen and a quality professional expert for over 40 years that they're still involved with communist China. And to my surprise, when I was going through the visitor center, they have a big bronze plaque called LEED. For anybody who visits there, that symbol, it's like when you step on the Pentagon, it's like stepping on communist China. No lie. I'm just going to say that, but we're going to continue on. I'm not going to tell you why, because LEED is an environmental thing. All these buildings you see, LEED, I think ANSI-ANB gets a piece of the pie, the American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board, who invited communist China into our shores between 2015 and 21. ANSI and ANB are founders of the International Accreditation Forum. And also their sister organization, IF, has the sister organization, ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. Now they formed another organization called GLOBAC, GLOBAC. And all that is ANSI, the IF and ILAC are associations of accreditation bodies, both national and international, equivalent in accreditation to ANSI-ANB, who are underwriters. But because they are fiddling around with the DOJ, because the DOJ sits on ANSI-ANB's board, and they're also a customer, so they're financially dealing with them. Also, the DHS is doing the same thing. Department of Commerce is doing the same thing, and also the FDA. And there's about 70 federal agencies that sit on ANSI-ANB. But let's continue, okay? Because I need you to listen to the bunker bluster story, because this is a fact. We have people who worked in that, who said, Daryl, you're the only one who could get the truth out. And that's what I'm going to do today. Don't listen to this mess. We accomplish a mission. Nobody has seen underneath. We see these little holes, and that's it. We don't know what happened. And remember something. I'm going to tell you the thickness of that rock, because statistically, from what we've gathered, from those people that we spoke to, who contacted me, said, Daryl, you're the only one, and they gave it to me on snail mail. I received it. I tore it up. I don't want anybody to see this stuff. And they told me the truth. So here it is. Actual people who worked on this. Quality out of control. QA expert DARYL GUBERMAN exposes the truth about the bunker buster bomb and the geopolitical fallout. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DARYL GUBERMAN, and I have over 40 years of hands-on experience as quality assurance specialist in aerospace, defense, biomedical, and high-stakes manufacturing environments. I've worked shoulder to shoulder with American industry giants, and I've seen from the inside what happens when standards are upheld, and more dangerously, when they are corrupted or politically manipulated. Today I'm speaking to you, not just as a QA professional, but as an American citizen, deeply concerned about the national security risks that are being glossed over, or worse, misrepresented by the very systems we trust to keep us safe. At the center of this concern is the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP. This is America's so-called bunker buster, a 30,000-pound bomb that's been touted in headlines as the weapon that can defeat hardened nuclear sites buried deep underground, including those in Iran. But as someone who has spent decades analyzing failure modes and analysis, many tolerances and structural integrity, let me tell you, quality without the truth is not quality. It is propaganda. The myth of 280 feet penetration. You've probably heard the claim that GBU-57 can penetrate up to 280 feet underground. But let me be clear. That figure only applies, ladies and gentlemen, under ideal soft soil conditions. In real-world scenarios, especially when dealing with hard rock or reinforced concrete, the story changes drastically. And the most important thing is it was really never field tested per se. Yeah, it was tested, hypothetical tests. They drop it on a bunker and all the rest of this, and it looked good. Well, let's continue on. We know from military specs, material science, and Department of Defense briefings, in soft soil, yes, it can reach 200 to 280 feet. In reinforced concrete, it may reach 60 feet. In medium density rock, around 26 feet. In dense mountain rock formations like dolomite and granite, penetration may stop at 20 to 30 feet. So when military leaders or politicians sell the public a silver bullet solution, a single bomb that can reach any target, they are either grossly misinformed or intentionally misleading the American people. Was the rock formation at the Iranian sites suitable for the GBU's 57-280 penetration? No. The geology of Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan is too strong and deep buried for the GBU 57 to penetrate 280 feet. Recent analysis reveals the following. Fordow facility, located under the Zagros Mountains with around 80 to 90 meters of rock, which is 260 to 290 feet of rock overhead. The rock is hard sedimentary, limestone and dolomite, similar in strength to reinforced concrete. These rocks are layered, fractured, and faulted, making penetration unpredictable and reducing the effective blast depth. Natanz and Isfahan, sitting under tens of meters of rock, but still well fortified and built with reinforced concrete linings, likely around 60 to 80 meters, 200 to 260 feet of rock, and engineered earth. These sites were built specifically to withstand Western airstrikes. They are not caverns in soft desert dirt. They are engineered fortresses positioned in rock that neutralizes the bomb's full potential. The GBU-57 would detonate dozens, even hundreds of feet above the actual target zones. The real failure, the accreditation cartel. Now here's the deeper threat. The quality standards organizations that should be vetting these systems, ANSI, ANB, IF, and ILAC, are themselves compromised. Did you know that the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware between 2015 and 21, who at that time had the DHS and still does, the DHS, the DOJ, the DOD, the FDA, the Department of Commerce, etc., on board at that time, and the other agencies between 2015 and 21, until recently, led by a Chinese Communist national operating under China National Intelligence Law, Article Number 7, which compels all Chinese nationals to cooperate with state intelligence if requested. And there's always requested, ladies and gentlemen. I don't make that up. Yet the same organizations oversee U.S. certifications, including those for defense and aerospace. Let that sink in. The FAA, the DoD, and even defense contractors like Boeing and Lockheed Martin are beholden to the certification systems that ultimately answer to foreign-controlled or conflicted bodies. That's not just poor oversight, that's a breach of national trust. Quality is not an afterthought. It's a national defense priority. When the bombs we build rely on certification systems compromised by foreign adversaries, when the tools we use to strike are falsely advertised to the public, like the bunker buster, when the standards behind our national security are diluted by global accreditation scams, that's when quality assurance transformed from a technical issue into a geopolitical crisis. I am proud to be publishing a book titled Quality Out of Control, where these issues are not just detailed, but named and shamed, real case studies, real whistleblowers, real harm. And finally, I've spent my life fighting for the truth, exposing it. Nobody's listening, but this is my deposition to you, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you about Boeing, fudging documentation. How can we have reliability on the bunker buster if they've been skewing documentation right along, like in 2017, fudging the metals that went into their aircraft? In 2023, fudging documentation, not doing proper testing at their V-22 Boeing facility in Pennsylvania, their V-22 composite facility, where they said that every month they would do time, temperature, and pressure for their autoclaves, okay? And they didn't do it for 11 years. $8.1 million fine. If we're going to fight for this country, then we must also fight for the integrity of the systems behind it. We cannot bomb our way past that oversight, but we can hold the people in power and the systems they hide behind accountable. And remember this, as Dwight D. Eisenhower said, it is not the size of the dog in the fight that counts, it's the size of the fight in the dog. 203-556-1493. The bunker buster busted. Yes, it is. And I don't make that up. I got privy information. I thank you.